Rules of Our Farm, written by Luna the Nightmare and narrated by Mr. Freaky. Well, hello there. If you're reading this, then you've probably bought our old farm. We used to want to keep it in the family, but times are hard. Anyway, the reason we're writing this is to give you a few tips on keeping the farmhouse in shape. The basement floods when it rains. Just wait for it to stop and eventually it'll drain. Don't try and drain it yourself, and don't look for the source of the splashing. It's just rain after all. After it rains, you may be tempted to investigate the teenagers giggling. Don't. If you have dogs, make sure you don't let them out before sunrise and after sunset. We made that mistake. The senior locals said it was coyotes, but refused to answer why they laugh instead of howl. You might be tempted to track down whatever teens thought it would be fun to walk through your cornfield by following the trail of flattened corn stalks, but we suggest you don't. They do not like to be followed. If your wind chimes start to ring on a windless night, go back to sleep. What comes after isn't something you want to hear. Ignore the clawing in the walls. It's just mice. No matter how loud it gets or how loud the screaming becomes, it's only mice. We don't have a scarecrow. Ignore the sweet old lady who walks around asking for donations. It's not money she wants. Ignore the cries and pleading from the bottom of the well. He's been there for 5 years. There's no resident named Perry anymore. He was supposed to be gone 20 years ago. All children should remain in their rooms between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. He likes them young. The birds left a long time ago. During soy season, ignore the shadows walking in the fields in the midday. Avoid Keck Road. It's not as short as your GPS says. If the road pops your tire, do not get out. Call for aid and wait until at least 4 people are there, armed and waiting. The power goes out at 12 a.m. every night. It's safer for all of us. If a black and gray farm cat approaches you, make sure it only has one mouth. Throw any leftover meat from dinner into the field. You do not want them to come in and get it themselves. Do not look out the window at night. You may not see them, but they definitely see you. Follow these tips and you should make it. Don't be stupid, like my mother was, who ended up with an axe in her skull. Or gullible like my younger brother was, when he listened to the man in the well. Don't be neglectful like my father, who ended up leaving my baby sister out for the man to devour. Don't be spiteful like my father either, whose only remains was his ring finger and wedding band. I don't want to have to come back and teach another family the rules again. Sincerely, Perry.